Hi Aquarius, and welcome to your March 2023 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky coming on to talk to you about your month ahead. Welcome back. Welcome to an awesome month for you, Aquarius. We have the planet of Pluto moving into your sign this month. Oh my gosh, we've got a lot to talk about. Okay, so as usual, intuitive messages followed by a week-to-week tarot forecast and an extended reading linked below on Patreon. If the reading resonates, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notifications. Okay, Aquarius, March 2023. It's like you could never have expected that this type of goal, this type of dream, this type of order could come into your life. There's a majorly strong feeling of like order out of chaos, or for some, chaos out of order as well. Depends on what your philosophies and mindsets are. But I would say that that's a lot of the equation for you, Aquarius, is philosophy and mindset. The choice to deem or label something a good or bad thing in your life, the choice to deem or label something a challenge or an ease, okay? The choice to label something profitable or loss, the choice to support or not to support. These types of things are way more important now than they've probably been in your entire life, okay? Pluto moving into your sign makes these labels and these designations much more powerful. So Pluto in Capricorn actually was not really about designations or labels. It was about what was behind the scenes and what was actually happening behind those. Now the energy focus shifts more towards a fiat, right? And yes, labels and designations are indeed fiat constructs, and you are perhaps more of an expert in that type of thing than many other people, and you are on top of it. Okay, the month of March for you, Aquarius, is going to foreshadow, okay? Because you want to remember that Pluto is not permanently in your sign, so it's going to retrograde back into Capricorn this summer, and then later this year it will move back into your sign again. So this is actually really good because it gives you a dose or like a taste of what this energy is like, and you'll actually get like a do-over, or you'll get also another opportunity to enter it again. So there could be something, like honestly, the best thing you could do is some type of trial here, okay? So like testing some type of new, for those of you who are entrepreneurs, testing a product, testing something very supported, also kind of like manic and crazy feeling, but like nonetheless, I'm sure that that's happening right now. A lot of tests and a lot of also experimentation. It's important maybe for you to try things before you buy things, or for you to also visit the place that you think that you like before you just up and move there. Now is a really good time for experimentation, and take this with a grain of salt. Try to maybe also like have a certain set of phases within experimentation. So perhaps we have like a research phase before the experimentation even starts. Perhaps we have quite an extensive journaling process before we even embark it. I will say majorly consequential to just like go for it. Okay, so like we haven't researched it, we don't understand how it works, but we invest all of our savings into it. I'm seeing a lot of people do that right now, like, very risky investments, stuff that is totally unknown. People don't know how it works, but they're putting all their money into it. And some people get like a huge return, but also some people will like lose it all. It's very laissez-faire like that. It's very extreme and edgy like that. Pluto in Capricorn was much more safe, actually, and a lot of people might disagree with that, but we haven't seen anything yet. So at the more personal level, let's take this down a little bit more micro. You need to be sturdy, okay? Good physical health, good mental health, good stability. Pluto and Capricorn should have given you quite a lot of ingredients to give that to yourself. So like having healthy finances, having kind of like an entire recipe going in your life that gives you well-being in order to perceive of these greater possibilities, or in order to step into this greater gravitational goal. It's not going to happen through like messiness and chaos everywhere. So hopefully you've brought a little bit of order to chaos. And if you haven't, you still have like a good year to get a lot of things in order. So like Yes, paying off debts, getting matters of like, what we perceive as more boring things, right? Pluto and Capricorn was a wonderful, powerful time to basically do the boring stuff. And like there are a lot of people who have totally transformed their lives in like the next 5 generations lives just by like paying maintenance bills for their house, or by like setting up trusts, or by setting, the boring Capricorn stuff, like setting up the paperwork, getting all the stuff in order, like making the estate plan. And those are the people who have the power right now, but will it last? We shall see. Now we want to build on top of that. So hopefully the foundation is in order. And 2023 as a year, Aquarius, is kind of one of those last years, being that we will have Pluto and Capricorn once more this year. We want to have a functional foundation in our lives so that we can start to move forward with the new growth for our ancestral tree. So I would think about that, Aquarius. I would think about new growth for my ancestral tree. So it's important to, have an understanding of who your ancestors were. That could be a great thing to embark. Because it's almost like we need to understand that in order to understand like what our actions are now and whether they're supportive of the ancestral grid, or whether they're a new growth, or even whether they are combative or conflicted with the ancestral grid. So understanding that knowledge is one of the more powerful things that we can do. And I hope that you will maybe make time for that. And you're supported to do so with Pluto having just moved into your sign. More than anything, Pluto and Aquarius, more than like technology or AI or digital stuff or, markets or money, it's kind of more like the power of knowledge, actually, at the highest level. And all that other stuff is in service to that in a hierarchical sense. That's a good coin of knowledge here right now. Let's talk about your week to week. First week, the 9 of Swords rooted down by the 4 of Swords, disembarking things which are too complicated to figure out. I was saying in Sagittarius, actually Capricorn's extended reading, about how like a lot of people are in indecision right now, and they have like these things that they can't figure out, like they're too complicated and they're too formulaic, and that makes it like kind of murky. And actually we can just pull out of anything that's murky and understand that it's maybe not great for us, and just move towards more clear, more precise things, lifelines. That's rooted down by the 4 of Swords. So there's a healing in having a less nervous mind, and having a mind that doesn't have to freak itself out about things so often. So maybe reclaiming some of your bandwidth for your mind, maybe having more room for focus on other things. Delegation, okay? Understanding what you don't have to do anymore. Understanding what you do still have to do. That's the most powerful thing for you guys right now. Week 2, the Temperance card, rooted down by the Hermit, spiritual evolution through healing of the body. Okay? The body and the mind work in tandem. I'm sure that all of you who are listening to this know this. But if you don't, if you think that you can like take a bunch of like cleansing herbs while like still engaging in addictions and eating fast food, and that's going to do something, it won't really. If you think that, I don't know, you can like maintain a porn addiction and like also feel like you're on a spiritual path, think again. Okay, that's crude. But I think that things like that have to be said now with Pluto and Aquarius. There's a very big healing for things like that coming through now. And it's good to reclaim the health of your mind. Okay, week number 3, the 3 of Cups rooted down by the 2 of Pentacles. Okay, things start to change with other people. The friendship group or the support network or the people that you've had around you may change, all right? There is a big change coming there. And it could also be like a change in your own expression. So you just naturally start to attract different types of people. Also, you might need to reach out more. Like I feel like there's a lot of power for Aquarius in numbers and in networking. And in that way, social media could be a good channel for you. Just make sure that it's like understood what it is, and understood that it is a virtual relationship. Some of these people may not even exist. There's like a question of are people who they say they are, and I think that it might also do you good to make more human relationships or to start to connect with your community more. But I don't think that there's anything wrong with both. You just have to understand the nature and the environment of anything that you're engaging. So when you're in Facebook, you have to understand what might be there. and things might not be what they seem. Basically, I feel that there's a new knowledge and new intelligence that can come in, new downloads with Pluto and Aquarius about like what spaces will have what. And this can also like not be a great thing because it kind of like takes away the natural component or the way that things can like just be different or the way that things change, the way that there are exceptions to certain rules. But I feel like you might have a better luck by just like understanding, okay, I want XYZ in my life. What types of spaces are XYZ in? How can I put myself in XYZ spaces? This is like very basic. Like, okay, so I want like a career as a, I don't know, I want to own a shop, or I want to own a naturopath shop or something, or I want to start like a natural medicine shop. Okay, the previous erroneous logic would be like, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to like rent out that building space and just set up shop. And there we go. I'm owning my naturopath shop. Now you would kind of understand, okay, I actually have to be like in the courthouse, or I have to be at the Chamber of Commerce, or I have to be at the bank. I have to be at the lawyer's office. And there's a lot that has to go into that, like that. And you would kind of understand like the alchemy, I guess, of like actually achieving your dreams in a more realistic way. And then that seems to also be like a good building block for like a bunch of different kinds of professional knowledge. But then there's the question of like, do we really know what we're engaging? And also, did we ever think that people who own naturopath shops have to do certain things like that? So anyway, the moral of this little like a random example is that the way things are on the surface have a lot of things put into them. And that's the momentum with Pluto and Capricorn. So what you see is not what you get. And there's going to be a change there, but that's not going to change like just overnight. And it's important to like know who is reliant on you, who you're reliant on, and the way that relationships work. So yes, the third week will give you a lot of information about that. Okay, week number 4, you have the 7 of Pentacles rooted down by the King of Cups. Beautiful combination. This has been coming up quite a bit this month. So we're growing new things. And with new growth, new expansion comes new conflict. But also, you become more leveled up and more strategic as a person. So Aquarius is becoming much more strategic. It's becoming much less like I'm just going in and I'm just doing it. It's like, okay, what all cogs need to come in to make this operate? It's a different kind of like a mindset, and it's not going to work much past 5 degrees of Pluto in Aquarius, but there's a transition period between Capricorn, Pluto, and Pluto and Aquarius. So at least until 26 or 27, this is a formidable logic. It's like, what types of ingredients, what types of cogs go into this creative process? What types of new technologies can make this attractive for those of you who are creating something? For those of you who are taking it much more simply and maybe like, I don't know, buying your own property or creating your own independence, I think that's even better. Okay, I think it's better to have like if you were growing your own garden, or if you're having your own water supply. This is, of course, only something that can apply to people who are not in urban spaces. But I think that there's a lot there, and I know that I have a lot of viewers who are rural. So try to take your rural living to the next level if you are rural. Try to really consolidate that, or try to make that really healthy, try to make that really strong, and allow yourself to benefit from it, as I feel that a lot of people don't necessarily allow them to benefit from certain conditions. But if you're still really urban, maybe starting to make new connections, okay? Starting to also understand the sources of certain things in your life, and starting to feel stronger by basically gaining new nourishment. So like I do feel that like fast food is just not viable for anybody anymore. Here in 2023, you might want to like outlaw it in your own life. So like the health of the food, the health of the nutrients is coming up in the 4th week basically, and you want to understand what you're growing and what, like, for example, the fast food diet grows, like what certain jobs grow in your life. Understanding the wider alchemy of fertility. Okay, let's talk more about that in your extended reading, Aquarius. I'll link that below and in the center of your screen. And we'll get more information about how your energy is changing with Pluto and the way that you can have fertility with that in your creative process. Thank you so much for joining me for this kind of like, I don't know, eccentric dialogue about this timeline. And yes, let's talk more on Patreon. Come check it out. I do weekly forecasts. I do a lot of fun content over there. It's linked below. Have a great month, Aquarius. Bye.